Who was right? I told you it doesn't make sense.
I reversed the leverage above instead of I agree.
Nothing changes, though I don't know why. This is the only thing to do to get the change.
Reverse Grand Prix on the MT-10.
Last time we left off inside this room with this man here behind, man in black. Here he is, the good Roberto Apicella from Emoto Garage. And today I decided to reopen the video where we left off last time. The news from the last time they brought us was bad. Post recall, for those who missed the video, I leave it in the eye top right. They brought us post recall precisely from Roberto to remap the bike with the impossibility of being able to recalibrate the original control unit. This is because, unfortunately, the software that Roberto uses, or rather the software that Roberto uses, since we have tried them, both. They were not yet updated with the new software that Yamaha had introduced with the software update of the recall made in Fayetta Motors. And so today, with good Roberto, who has informed me that the software was indeed available, states
Really good, and they will be for you. Let's say
that the call-in team sport that I made was useful. I'm happy. And today, precisely, I bring this second update video on the matter, mainly because next week from Mugello with her. And so it is...
What are you doing? She goes without, but I deprive myself, and...
Then anyway, it's right to follow up and also update the guys precisely at home who said no, but I don't stop, I don't update. No, guys, updates are important. I know about safety. If instead he pushes the bike in the curve, I know Kazi Amari did. He did.
Absolutely. Today...
So the process, I already see the bike charge, so I can imagine what the process is. But what do we do for them?
You got off, let's say, less severely. Ah, yes, because I've already looked after myself. The new setting, okay, and so all the advanced tables
Of gasoline.
and that stuff there has basically remained unchanged. So
We do a copy and paste of the tables. Yes.
at the level, let's say, of how it was designed, the software is structured. So now we will do a launch, just as Nicolo brought it,
Then we go.
to make this kind of copy. Glue that will take us a bit of time, and then we're going to reprogram the control unit with the new update.
Throwing it on the bench. To see?
Then the difference, to understand if everything is okay, if possibly this software then did not bring other changes. Here we are, noticed, yes, here we are also on the quick shifter discussion. I noticed some improvements. Damn,
Yes, I have.
found some differences.
But they're...
Well, it's possible we can get more horsepower from the bike today, but it's certain that there's less. You know, here we are.
perfect. I want...
Bang. Just like...
We see if these good news turn into bad news. Also because we still have the charts of the map already made by good Roberto, that old one. Not good at all. It has a really embarrassing air-fuel ratio. Now the bike as it is a bit lean. This...
Software is leaner than the other, I understand.
Damn, let's talk.
About a truly borderline isometric ratio.
In all the years we've been here, I don't think I've ever seen a chart like that.
The leanest ones that I have here are the KTM, but Yamaha. As for the MT-10, it has always been a trend around 14.5, 14.8, but here we exceed 16. It's a disarming leanness. So, what does it mean that if we now go to transcribe the carburation values made on the old software, they could no longer be enough to compensate for these differences? Understand. So now let's take a little look at what happens in progress. And let's try to sum up a bit and see if we still need to put in our own effort to be able to reach, let's say, a satisfactory result.
So, if we wanted to summarize and translate what Roberto said in technical terms, we could do it in this way. Given the large increase in stoichiometric ratio, which is the ratio between air and gasoline, it might not be enough. And potentially we might have to revisit and therefore do a mapping almost from scratch.
So, redo it from scratch. No, but I can tell you that we need to get our hands on it, and I'll explain why. We have compared the graphs of the signal ratio. These graphs are with the map, let's say, original, with the components installed. So, as we have the bike right now, what do we notice with the old original Yamaha software? So the green one. We do have a bike that is generally macro, but a very linear bike because from 3000 up to the intervention of the limiter, we still have a good bike in terms of linearity. What instead is inverse with the new software, which creates a fluctuating situation. Something we can see in the area between 4.5 and 5.5 is as if there is a switch. So if I gave 20% gasoline at 5000 RPM, so to speak, we can say that that value will no longer be good because a greater amount of injected gasoline will be needed to compensate precisely for an even greater thinning than it was. With this reading that we have, the whole map really needs to be reviewed. As for the gasoline table, here we are.
The first good news of today. I was quite scared when I felt some intense blows to my chest. They were strong and powerful.
Yeah.
Yes, but what have we done?
Come on, Arrow. Anyway, she keeps it all, huh?
Yes, Arrow. Arrow holds up.
He didn't know how much Porca was messing around.
Damn, what a beating, man. Is it her or isn't it? The definitive one.
Changed drastically, what?
We have combined.
Today the operation was long, did you see?
Oh, but we didn't completely redo the map from scratch, well.
All from scratch? No, but the fuel maps, yes, those were made from scratch. So we did,
50% of the work. Come on, yes.
Come on, 50% of the work, even though it was a bit complex. Did you see? Paste does it? It wasn't really. Let's say it's very simple, but fortunately the structure of the setting was fortunately identical. So let's say we limited the damage.
Listen, the question now that...
I asked myself,
do we have more or less power? No.
nothing has changed. I can say badly, yes, we have returned more or less to what you had in your hands.
No, but it's more or less the same. But how I remember it, how much were 158? No?
If there are two of the trainer, I understood.
They did it at Christmas, damn it, and I don't remember it in detail. From the
Hand that we have here.
give it to the hand, so this is the green launch as you arrived, and the red launch, let's say in conclusion. And so we went to increase the power, to increase it. We went from gasoline. More than anything else, we were missing a killer whale, so we made 155.71 at the wheel, starting from 144 and 96. And what is always scary, let's say, is the pull of the engine torque, because in the mid-low area, something is exaggerated. This, let's say, is already a photocopy of what you have seen, probably in the other video. However, these are mainly the differences from 10 to 73 to 11 and 35, and in the area of 5,800 revolutions, approximately from 852 to 983. We're talking about over a kilo of torque.
Almost 1.5 kilos of torque.
When you said they gave me an MT-09, Niccolo was right, because this is indeed the difference. You can really feel it in an exaggerated way, but
It's been detuned. They removed the cylinder and you've put it back because you have...
this bike has many limitations. It's true.
True! In fact, I tell you, the owners of MT-10 will surely know the maximum speed is limited to 152 miles of actual speedometer value. It will be a little more, but anyway. And you feel that the engine would like to go a little more, but it doesn't?
It was still there. We couldn't do it and had to go to Mugello where they passed you at 300 so much.
They pass me anyway. Anyway, this is another discussion about this finished intervention. Thank you, Roberto. But the impressive thing is then...
Of the scope, the key to reading the work, I never show it. We do it from the end, I mean. It's not that they are really the sophisticates of the situation, who for those who know us as Moto Garage know it, and with whom we're always super transparent. I care about valuing the work we've done today, because then we talk about power and torque. Does that seem right to you? But what we're interested in is this chart here. What is it? This is the air-fuel value ratio, known as the stoichiometric ratio. Essentially, this thin rhino represents the ideal engine performance, sometimes slightly up or down, based on its desired direction. And we have the original map that
Was running.
in a shabbiness, let's say it was scary. Here we have a sort of switch because we have this, let's say, initial part, which would be the area where the motorcycles fall within the parameters. Let's say anti-pollution to meet regulations. Then let's say they give them all the gasoline at once. This factor is even more embedded in Honda. It seems that Scavala has roughly 10 more or 10 less power. How do you see it now with the changes made? We have linearity, so a nice bike to ride, soft in response to the throttle, and then obviously more powerful.
And so thank you for giving me back the AMT that you had already programmed for me at that time. Finally, it's back to full power. I'm eager to go and test it properly. All modified, put down in this way at Mugello. Next week I'll let you know from there, with some stories, how it is. Finish the engine control unit recalibration modifications. With Roberto, we want to push slightly further, and we have come down here in the transmission department. What's happening? Ever since I got the MT10 bike in question, I've always wanted to have the gear reversed. However, this thing can't be done on the MT in question because we don't know why, due to some law of electronics. If you move the 1,000 lines to the opposite position of the original, effectively mechanically reversing the gear. Unfortunately, the original sensor stops working, both going up and down. And you will definitely say in the comments, Nicolo, you should turn around. That is, reverse the position of the sensor as well. Well, we have already done this test, both in Yamaha's Feta and here at Roberto's bench, and it has led to a negative outcome. So the only thing left for us to do is to leave this lever here of 1,000 lines in its original position, and go puncture the GILS shift platform that I have noted, with the entire set of platforms, to create a support for the rod that moves not in front of the support pin but behind the pin, thus changing precisely the shift mechanism, making it possible in theory from what we read on the internet, the GP shift, the reverse shift. So we're back in manual mode with good Roberto, who is already at work. Roberto is docking. That the stones have been made rather in a way that they are made.
However, there is aluminum.
They make buildings with J and Sons aluminum. In theory, the job should be very simple between whipped cream column, between breaded, then threading the hole and reassembling on the bike. Look, what a decision-making job. I get excited when you work like this, you know, my goodness. I get really excited when I see these jobs of Filino done by such a professional. I get really excited, Roberto.
You just pray to God that it works.
Well, if it doesn't work, we've made one more little hole.
It's not the end of the world.
Nothing. Go on. Are you satisfied? Yes. Well, let me...
See this little hole? Where is it?
Nice view, huh?
Now we're going to thread it.
I'll follow you like a mother hen. Look at the 7 of the anchoring points. Hey, all these are for anchoring, huh? My goodness, crazy. It even has a level underneath. One... We have to say it, but Roberto is not convinced of this change that I suggested and that I am forcing him to do. Because logically, he has worked as we have already worked previously. So he changed the leverage. He swapped it from the original position to the inverted position. He changed the position of the sensor. No one knows by what divine logic. But this thing didn't work, so I forced him to do this thing here. If it doesn't work, I'll have there the disaster of Roberto Pieta's hair, a mess. We have reversed the
sensor. Absolutely.
We need to put the original one back. Okay, so that goes back to its original position. I swear, if it works more, I'll cut your whisk in half. No, it's not, because if it works that...
It's known. Something I can't explain. I have to open it. I need to understand what's inside. Do you hear then? But it's all temporary. Then we put a fillet. We fix everything. Go. Let's try.
Sometimes exaggerated, but we cut it. Who's right, Tavoletto? There's no sense at all.
Without logic, I mean this thing we did. If I reverse the leverage above, I agree.
Nothing changes, but I don't know why this is the only thing to do to get the change. Reverse Grand Prix on the MT10, no?
Because if you flip it over, it doesn't work. No.
Even if you flip this one, you put it back like this and also flip this one, it's there.
Not towards.
The only thing is that this must be placed before the fulcrum point, not after. And now it works, it changes, everything is beautiful.
Fixed. So now we restore the height of the lever.
3 little refineries.
Tighten it and we're good.
We're ready for 4.5 minutes. At Mugello if...
You don't come unless you turn. Look really neat. Neat with one hand, 203 at Mugello. You don't come in here anymore, I don't want to talk to you, so watch out for you, so...
We say goodbye to you today? Gentlemen, so we come to the end of this amazing video. A roller coaster of emotions that first brought us into the hope of being able to remap in safety, of being able to do it. But then the inculated was just around the corner. Let's put it this way. Now with good Roberto, we connect in diagnosis, we eliminate all the errors and make the bike 100% ready for the Mugello race next week. I clearly thank the entire Moto Garage, specifically good Roberto, who, as usual, helped me out this time with various things. Even when it's not scheduled, let's say it, because I come here and then I ask for more.
Time? We don't have plans, Captain. We just do things like pulling down the engine, putting it back on, and changing the tires. Advance. Advance time.
Because we work by appointment, you should know we work by appointment and working by appointment. I have that totore and that totore. If then it is done...
Then it's 1852. The undersigned would like to go home at 7.
So he...
What is he asking me? No, well, now we pull it down, clean the chain, grease it, pull it. We doing...
7 minutes, it's done. I don't have to continue, then...
I deserve a special dinner, not just any dinner. I won't back down or lose even a kilo. Half a kilo of meat? No.
If he deserves dinner, 1.5 kilos of meat seems a bit excessive to me. Anyway, guys,
We are...
thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. A new video will be uploaded soon. With her on the track, all modified at Mugello.